Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Joy Jolt podcast. My name is Natalie Ledwell.
I'm Susan Patrick.
And we are welcoming our special guest this week, Rhonda Britten!
Rhonda
Britten! And the crowd goes wild!
Rhonda
so much fun. She's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. She's the best.
Yeah. And I feel like I say this every podcast, but I do know a lot of people. We know a lot of people.
Like everybody, Natalie.
A lot. I know a lot. Yeah. So Rhonda and I have known each other for many years. She's also here in Substack, so make sure that you look for her. Fearless Living is her newsletter name. And if you just look up at Rhonda Britten, you'll be able to find her here on Substack with some pearls of wisdom. And so today we're going to be diving into fearless joy. I mean, come on. So
it takes a brave person, Natalie. It takes a brave person to be joyful.
Yeah, amen.
Right? Especially during the times we're living in, right? It's right now it's easy to be in sacrifice. It's easy to be in I don't deserve this. People are starving and dying and getting bombed on, right? So in order to be joyful is a radical act.
Yeah. Yeah. Radical act of defiance. The world wants you to be cynical. The world wants you to be upset. The world wants you to be a victim, right?
Or to be divided, or be manipulated, or be pliable, or any of those things. Yeah. And I think the other thing that makes it challenging for us, which has been my realization in the last week or so, is that because life has been so stressful, I found myself being stressed over things I didn't need to be stressed about. So my default changed. I just naturally started going into, and making, a mole out of a molehill. It was a crazy situation. So taking a stand and really fighting for our joy right now, I think requires a little bit more of us to do. It's not as easy as it used to be.
Well, it's really, I was teaching yesterday and everybody's talking about how tired they are. Right. And I said, well, being tired is a function of a couple things. One, it could be high awareness when you're starting to become more aware of what you think and how you feel and who you are and how things work and be awake to that. First of all, that's very humbling. It's very shocking and it's very exhausting because you're literally shifting your neural pathways. So it is normal to be exhausted through a heightened level of awareness. So for those people who are really interacting in the world and really paying attention, maybe they haven't paid attention to this level before, there's also going to be just a physical level of exhaustion, let alone mental or emotional. Yeah. So, bringing what Natalie said, it's like, and everything feels so volatile and everything feels so fragile. And I actually think seeing things as fragile is one of our superpowers.
Yeah.
And right, so it forces us to kind of embrace our humility, but also embrace our vulnerability. And our joy really comes from our willingness to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So the more willing we're able to call things like, when I'm feeling fragile, I say it. I'm feeling fragile.
Yeah.
Right. I don't try to hide that because that's not weak. That's actually me going, this is my state of being right now. And oh, by the way, I'm fragile and I'm going to be joyful doing it.
Yeah. Rhonda, this is one of the things I love about you. I've known of you and about you and have been interacting with you for years, even beyond us when we met in ATL, but when you were at NSA and I've seen you speak at conferences, I've been in the crowd, knowing you as a participant. And then I got to meet you at ATL. And that's one of the things I love most about you is I love that you do really live from that space of vulnerability. And you are a joyful being in that vulnerability. And I think that is a superpower. And so how does that happen for you? Because I think that a lot of times people think, joy is it's fake. But it's really talking about real, grounded, rooted, vulnerable, messy joy.
I'll tell you how I do it is because I realize how fear works. And the minute you realize how fear works, shame dissolves. So you have no more ability or no more reason to ever beat yourself up again. it really takes off that, oh, I've got to beat myself up to, motivate myself. Or, if I don't tell myself all the things I'm doing wrong, then I'm not going to be, really on top of it. It's like all of those things are such a lie. And those are all fear driven. So once you start seeing fear for what it is, I always say the number one thing people feel when they start working with Fearless Living and working with me is that shame dissolves. And I don't know, but shame is so seductive, right? Just like earlier you said victim, right? When we want us to become a victim, it's so seductive.
Yes.
That shame, because we on some, if I'm from the Midwest, and so I was raised with the sacrifice mentality, right? And I have to earn everything, right? That whole mentality. And so many of us are raised that way. So to not buy into that anymore, because I see that it's fear-based and see it for what it is, rather than carry it around as a belief and believe it, right? Continue to believe it over and over again and keep that belief strong and steady, but and go, oh, that's, if I'm thinking that, that's just a fear. Oh, okay. Then that literally has no effect on me.
Huge. And that fear is that is a joy sucker. That's what I just.
Yes, but and fear is a joy sucker, but it also is doing it because it loves you so much. One of the things fear loves you. Fear loves you like crazy.
Keep me safe.
But it loves you. So, I always say never argue with fear. Never, 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 never argue with fear. So if fear says to you, you're never going to make it happen, never say, yes, I am. And I mean it. I'm gonna. Instead, you go, well, you know what, fear? You might be right. It may not work out for me and it may suck, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, I'm not going to have anything to do with you because you're making the wrong decision. I might be making the wrong decision. You're right. You might be totally right, but I'm going to do it anyway. Well, don't come crying to me when it fails. Okay, I won't come crying to you when it fails.
That's right.
So
wait a minute.
It's a completely different relationship with fear. Yeah.
I need to know what your definition of fear is then.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fear is more than an emotion. Fear is a system. And it is the cause and the effect, right, of our emotional state, right? It causes our turmoil, and then it's the effect. So we get into that turmoil, and then we have fear again. So it's literally, I've labeled it the wheel of fear. And it literally, we get activated on our wheel of fear, and we move through 4 stages on that wheel. And every stage of that wheel, if it wasn't us, if I put my wheel of fear on Natalie, I'm sure Susan and I could go like, oh, I see it. Yep. I see it right here. Yep. I see it right there. Yeah, it's right there. But when it's us, right, just like all of us, right, we can't see it ourselves because fear's job is to hide it from you. So you have something called the core trigger. And fear's life and death is that you don't see that, like literally life and death. Because if you see it, it can no longer protect you. Yeah. So it has got to keep it hidden from you. So it distracts you. And it has you think you're not good enough, or it thinks you're not worthy. I mean, I could go on a whole thing about worthiness and not good enough, right? Yeah. So it's like it keeps you distracted by all of those. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm a procrastinator. Oh my God, I just have to get more accountable. Right? It just keeps you distracted. Yeah. And so you don't actually get on with life. Wow. So that's how it tricks you. And then we buy in as a society. We start calling, how many, think of it in the last year, how many classes are about worthiness? Just think about it. I mean, how many people have come out with, you are worthy. And again, not that that's not a wonderful thing to say. Of course it is. Of course it's a wonderful thing to say. Of course. When I was going through a bad breakup, I had a friend say to me, you are worthy of love. And I was like, yes, I am worthy of love. Yes, I am. Like, I am. Right. But me needing to say that doesn't make me unworthy. Right. It just makes it an affirmation. It just makes it a mantra. It just makes it a what I call proactive behavior. Right. So, we just get caught up on this wheel of fear. And because we don't see the origin of it, and we don't necessarily understand how neuroscience works with fear, because again, how many Substacks, how many podcasts are talking about how fear works? How the brain works. Yeah. But as I tell people, I can explain the brain to you all day long, but when you're in the fight with your spouse, are you going to be like, it's my amygdala? No, it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Really? Help. What about your frontal lobe is not working right now?
Get in your frontal lobe. Get in your frontal lobe. What? Right? So right? It's helpful to know. But unless it's applied to something,
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I teach. The neuroscience, the psychology, and the philosophy and the spiritual, all tied into how fear wraps itself up in all of those things.
Yeah.
But
And
you know what fear also does, darling? It
Yes, please.
immobilizes you.
Of course.
It immobilizes you in your
Of course.
actions, in your thoughts, in your emotions.
Yes.
It's like you're stunted. And you cannot see your way out of your current situation. It is
Absolutely.
keeping you in this holding pattern of dread.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
And it feels like it's doing you a favor. And the fear is probably going, look, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
They're on the wheel. They're on the wheel.
100%. It is so proud of itself. It is so proud of itself.
Yeah.
Look at it. I've got her sitting back. Look at her. I've got her small, the same. Because fear just wants you to stay stuck, small, and the same. That's all it wants you to do.
Oh, say that again. Wait. Say that again.
Stuck,
Wait. Fear that's
small,
stuck.
and the same. Stuck, small, and the same. That's all it wants. Because fear, the way our brain works, as I know you all ladies know, is a predictive machine, right? So the only way it can predict the future is by looking at the past. It doesn't, it actually doesn't even know how to create the future, right? As we all know. Yet fear will convince us that we're creating the future when we're really creating the future from the past.
Right.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the distinction, right? So how does a person know when they've cracked the wheel? What do you?
Yeah. How do you get off that ride?
How do I get off the wheel? I want to get off the wheel. Right now I'm on the wheel and it's like, don't ask the wrong question.
Well, the first thing to do is really identify what I call fear responses are. And we've kind of done a little bit of that, but I do have a quiz if you want me to give that.
Yes.
And there's not only the wheel of fear, there's a wheel of freedom. So there's two wheels, right? And then there's a bridge between them. And that's what I teach. I've coined it fear literacy. And, most people talk about fear. They say fear, don't be afraid. But I've coined a term called fear literacy. And my job now, my next phase of life is to create fear literacy for the human race, to help people understand what your life looks like when you're fear illiterate, i.e. you think it's character flaws, you think there's something wrong with you, right? You're fear illiterate then. You don't know it's fear, you think it's you. That's fear illiterate. And then fear literate means I understand that it's fear. And then fear fluent means I understand how to work with fear. And then stage 4 is fluent freedom, when I'm living on my wheel of freedom most of the time. So these are the 4 stages that I'm moving people through in my work, because most people, and again, we're all smart. If we're here together today, we're all really smart and we've done our work. Okay.
It's true.
I'll take it.
Right. We all know. We've all done it. Workshops, therapy, books, we've done it all. And smart people stay stuck the most because we're too smart for our own good. And fear uses that smart against us.
Yeah.
Well, and so how does your wheel relate to, is it parts of people? Like I'm on the wheel in some parts of my life and not in others. I mean, how much?
You could totally do that. So you could be, so Natalie could be totally in freedom on her wheel of freedom in relationships, and she could be totally living on her wheel of fear in her career, right? You could be in your total freedom in your health and, your health in your body, and you could be in total wheel of fear when it comes to your family, right? So there are areas of our life. So that's what's confusing for us smart people, right? Because it's like, well, I get it here, so why can't I do it here? I'm doing awesome. What the heck? Why am I? But you don't understand that fear is going to take hold wherever it can. And so it's okay. It's okay with you if your freedom over here, as long as it's got holding you back somewhere, it's winning.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so the first thing that I ask my clients to do, just to start recognizing, for the most important thing, actually, in just the beginning, before we even get to the core trigger, is really finding out those fear responses. So is it time for the quiz?
It might be time for the quiz. I feel like that was a drum roll. I wish we had sound effects.
Okay. So, everybody who can safely, if you're listening to us in the car, don't do this. But if you're able to, go ahead and shut your eyes. And I want you to nod your head. Just nod your head, your chin to your chest. Go on, nod your head to your, oh yes, very good. Excellent, ladies. Natalie, come on now. Oh, there you go. Excellent. Okay, so everybody's going to nod. And I don't want you to nod inside your head. I don't want you to nod a nod inside your head, right? I want you to nod so you feel it. So that is your affirmative yes. So I'm going to read a list of words. And if you do any of these things or feel any of these things, nod your head. So, do you ever deny? Do you ever hide out? Do you ever judge? Do you ever suffer? Do you ever blame? Do you ever deflect? Do you ever isolate? Do you ever struggle? Do you ever get defensive? Do you ever settle? Do you ever want to take control? Do you ever want to secretly manipulate? Do you pretend everything's okay when it's not? Do you complain? Do you hesitate? Do you condemn? What about procrastinate? Do you compare? Do you worry? Do you ever feel bitter? Do you ever feel annoyed? Do you ever feel entitled? Do you ever feel confused? Do you ever feel guilty, powerless, irritated, like now with me reading these words? Do you ever feel resentful? Do you ever feel victimized? What about disappointed? What about ignored? You ever get caught in self-pity? What about getting caught in perfectionism or people pleasing? What about dissatisfied and ever feel self-centered? Now go ahead and open those beautiful eyes of yours.
You missed one.
Anybody need a chiropractor? Anybody? Chiropractor?
Rhonda, you missed one.
Which one?
Avoider. To avoid shit.
Avoid. Yeah, avoid. Yeah, avoid. Do you ever avoid?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm my head is spinning.
Yeah. Good. So, whenever I'm speaking to people, it doesn't matter if it's 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people, I ask people, you have over 50%? Raise your hand, yes. Right? Have over 80%? Yeah, most people raise their hand. And then I say over 90%, and pretty much the whole room almost raises their hand, right?
Yeah, it's very human.
So, right. We're human, right?
So fear is human.
Fear is very human. But the problem is what we do when we do these things is we think there's something wrong with us. Oh, I really should start procrastinating. Oh my God, there's something. I got to really get better at boundaries with that people pleasing. I really got to do this and I got to do that. And so we're taking these moments of our lives and these, bitterness and resentment and disappointment and people pleasing and procrastination. And we go, oh my God, I've got to go to procrastination school because I got to get rid of my procrastination, right? So we go to procrastination school, right? And we go, I now know how to be productive. I know how to do my calendar and I no longer procrastinate. Well, I want you to imagine that we all have just for the sake of this conversation, 5 major fear responses. Maybe they're overwhelm, perfectionism, procrastinating, anxiety and worry, let's just say. And so you get procrastination, right? Like you took that class and you're amazing. You're amazing now, right? Fear could care less because fear is just going to have something else pop up.
Yeah.
Right.
So it doesn't care. So basically what it has us do is run around trying to fix our fear responses.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Instead of moving off our wheel of fear and moving into our wheel of freedom. And then, right, the fear responses are neither here nor there, right? They're just part of our humanity and we see them through a different lens because every value we have, every belief we have, we can see through the the lens of the wheel of fear or the wheel of freedom. So integrity in and of itself is fear of freedom. Love can be fear of freedom, right? So any value, any belief can be seen through both filters. So once you start seeing your fear responses in action and you start doing that witness consciousness, right? And taking a step back and going, oh, Rhonda said that's procrastinating. I'm procrastinating. Oh, wait, that must mean that I'm triggered by fear. Oh, wait, stop. Okay, I'm not going to beat myself up this time. I'm not going to do character assassination, right? I'm going to stop and go, okay, wait a minute. What just triggered me? And of course, if you know your core trigger, you know what that is, right? Yeah. So this is the retraining.
What a loving, fun, generous practice.
It will literally change your life.
It's just so loving.
And that's, yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you and I are innocent, right? When people say, I feel so guilty because I did this horrible thing. And I said, did you purposely do it? I've never had a human being say, yes, I did. No, they all go, no. I go, yeah. So you consciously, your essence, your soul, on a soul level didn't go, I am now going to destroy another human being, right? No. What we do is we go, oh, I wasn't conscious. I wasn't awake. I wasn't aware. I wasn't, I had my own fears triggered. And then I did something that hurt another person. And then we're like, then we beat ourselves up for it instead of going, oh, wait, I was just afraid. Right. So then how can I take care of myself differently? And then that's when you move on to your wheel of freedom, because the wheel of freedom is going to show you the things for you to do, to practice, to be in
Wow.
order.
Okay. So I just had like a mind bending with this. Like I'm thinking about the wheel. Like what locks people on the wheel is the deception that stepping off the wheel will show weakness. So it goes full circle to what you're talking about, that vulnerability is the key to getting off the flipping wheel. Be vulnerable, be messy, be human. Because just as much as this is human, so is the wheel of freedom.
That's right. That's
Why
right.
is that less human than the fear? We're just more perfected in the fear wheel.
Yeah.
And
what I also like about what you're saying, Rhonda, is that you're talking to fear. And by doing that, you are disassociating to a certain extent. You're getting yourself outside of the situation so that you're more of an observer rather than them being emotionally locked in with the fear and the despair and the frustrated and the helplessness and all that, because that is not going to get you anywhere. But when you can have that conversation and disconnect for even if it's just a moment, it helps you to get the perspective. That, I see now, rather than being stuck in that emotion. I'm like, I can see the process. I can see the actions. I can see so now I have a choice. Now I get to choose rather than be at the whim.
That's right. So neuroscience says now that the only way to transform your life, period, end of story, there's only one way, and that's to change your perception. And so what I teach people is shifting from that, what you're saying, Natalie, subject to object, right? So you're moving into that witness consciousness. You are not, oh my God, I'm a bad person. Oh, I feel disappointed, or I procrastinate. Therefore, that's a character flaw. There's something wrong with me because I procrastinated, right? I'm overwhelmed. I should be able to control things, right? Those are all false. Those are false. Those are all manufactured by fear. So we make up these stories about ourselves that we will never achieve, and we're chasing that. And then we have some success over here by doing some of that things, right? Because we have random successes. And so then we get a little, boost, a little spike, right? And we think, well, see, that's how I do it. I got to just keep doing that. But that's also the illusion, right? That's also just the trick.
Well, this is
to keep you locked on there because it thinks it's loving you.
Yeah.
And that lock, and I think it's about a distortion of love, right? So it thinks, I think because I am it's loving me. But this whole conversation is about fearlessly loving yourself enough to unlock from this wheel and get on the other wheel because it's more fun.
It's where fearless joy lives. It's where fearless joy lives.
That's right.
Yes.
And so we're at the end of kind of our time right now. This has been a juicy conversation. I love the quiz. It kind of revealed a whole lot to me, but I'm excited that we're going to be going into the deeper conversation with you next. And I love that we're going to talk about the freedom wheel a little bit more and go a little bit deeper with what do we do on that wheel and how do we lock ourselves in there?
Yeah. So we'll talk more about that. So if you are listening to us on any other platform other than Substack, please make sure that you come over, subscribe to our channel on Substack. We're at thejoyjolt.com. And for those of you who would like to join us in the deeper conversations, we encourage you to become a paid subscriber, which you can do at a button somewhere here on this page. And we'll be back for our paid subscribers in about a few minutes, so that we can go deeper into the freedom wheel.
That's it.
Let's do that.
Can't wait. Be fearless.